ego the man has does not allow him to do.
Most times to give.
Most of the time. Secondly, he's not the sole provider. And in cases where a man is sole provider, he gives laws inhibiting the value of the woman in the house. So in both situations, you don't win. What we should ask for, or what we are pleading for, is not a by force thing. Whether the men like it or not, the evolution will take place. Women will take their rightful position. But what we are saying is that we should raise ourselves now and our children to start accepting that fact that it has come to be. You remember, God created Adam from clay, but God created the woman from from Adam, from the man. So God has known from time immemorial that we are going to always be a part of you. And I can tell you this, women are like roses. They have thorns. Water them, they bloom. Hurt them, they hit you. Now, so let's be clear. Nobody is competing to be the head of the house with you. Nobody is competing to do that. But
you are saying that, but that is not what we are saying.
If I can, no, that's what you are saying. But that is what
and that is about perception.
Perception.
That's where the perception is wrong.
Let me tell you.
I'll take you back to those days also. All the things you have said right here were things that happened in those days with no issue, with no women asking for anything extraordinary. They were working with our father. They were going to the farms to do those things. The wives, the women, they were bringing those, they were adding to the economy of the house. They were doing all that with no, and they were still taking care of those children. They were doing all those things.
But were they appreciated by the men?
They were.
Were they happy? You think the revolution just started because of modernization? I'm telling you, most of those women that suffered and slaved, they are the ones telling their daughters, I don't want to take it again. Go through what I'm gone through. That's why you have to be educated.
Unfortunately, they pass it down generation.
But they live in that house. They live to grow old, and they don't want the same thing to happen to their children. So they tell their children, and their children cannot bear it. And 5 years into the marriage, they are out.
No, that's not.
We're not talking marriage here.
No.
Because if we decide to talk marriage, this show will not end.
Okay.
What we are talking about is give a girl a chance. You see, when you go back to those days, that's what created the makeup culture and tradition, where the men are like kings and the women are like slaves. In that situation, some women are comfortable, even in this modern day.
Some women are extremely
comfortable being the person at the back, doing all the work. It makes them happy.
It makes them comfortable.
And feel fulfilled that is my position, and whether the man appreciates it or not, they are happy. But in that same situation that you just narrated, some women were not. Those old women, some of them were like, why should it be so? Why should it be this? And that's why you got revolutionaries like Fumi and Kuti. Yes, Fumi Ransom Kuti, who felt that why should I not wear trousers? Why can't I drive? When I know driving will ease the problem.
My stress.
Because the man is not around, you can't go anywhere. But if I can do this, I can do it while he's away. And that's why I gave you the analogy of women assisting men. All the woman now needs is just a pat in the back and an appreciation of the services being done. So those old women you thought, they were the ones that decided to train their girls differently. Because they knew.
It was a decision they took, conscious decision.
Unconsciously. They were training us, the future, to be able to be independent. And some of them were wise
and they committed more duties to their daughters
to work like their daughters. Some of them.
The truth is,
do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I think no. We need to break it down.
This evolution
is not the generation you're talking about. Now there's another generation after those ones. No, is that generation?
Are you talking about your grandmother, or you're talking about your great grandmother?
Now I'm talking about grandmother now.
Not your
I have
great
a mother.
grandmother.
Hold on. And my mother, probably my mother, saw what not great. My mother saw what happened to my grandmother. Now, what you're saying is it means that my mother is telling me.
No, your grandmother told your mother how to train your sisters.
No. My mother is going to be 70 this year.
Okay.
She's a woman you need to emulate. I lost my dad when I was 13 years ago, but she trained 7 kids, all on her own. She did not remarry. She made a success of her life. She even entered politics towards the end of her life. She's still there now. Okay. So I wonder what her mother taught her. Because when I lost the role model, the major supplier to the house, she didn't look back. She just kept at it.
And kept pushing.
And kept pushing. And I grew up to know my grandmother. My grandmother, soft-spoken, beautiful woman. My grandmother was always treated as a queen in my grandfather's house. So
because she was in charge. You get it?
Because she was in charge.
Okay.
My grandfather will see that he is the major provider. My grandmother's law is final. So having that environment, I can understand why my mother became what she was. Growing up in that environment where her mother was in charge. My grandmother was a spoiled queen. She doesn't do anything. She had people follow her to her husband's house, people doing everything for her. Do you get what the scenario? But at the same time, whatever she says in my grandfather's house was law. So my mother grew up in that environment. So you see that she could face challenges.
So it was
she
more
was
like
not
you
timid.
can take
She
it,
was bold.
take care of
She
it.
could take care of herself.
And
from an
7
early age.
kids.
And that is the way she trained us. Very independent children, right from the very young age. We all knew that we needed to do things for ourselves. So if I now marry, I'm married now, my husband appreciates my makeup. Because I know how to do the inside cooking, getting everybody ready. And I know how to pursue my goals.
And my dreams.
And all he has done is support it. So that's what we're asking.
You get the three.
for.
You get the three
I'm
generation.
giving you three generation.
Do you get it?
The
Now you see,
makeup of my husband's family might not be the same as mine.
Very well.
But you see, there are families that raise women properly as warriors. It doesn't diminish your duty
As a man.
as a man, or diminish your duty as a woman. And that's why I say when we talk marriage, if everybody's makeup in marriage is different. Our men act differently abroad than they act at home.
true.
When
As
they
a
are
matter
abroad,
of fact,
you will see them
they become very
but you know why
and very
that-
proper,
but you know why?
and they don't hit you because they know if they hit you, they
That's
go
what I'm
to
saying.
jail.
That you know.
But you know they are the same men. But you know they are the same men.
Yeah.
So
they are in America with you on
But
summer.
don't even go into marriage.
no, I'm just
that.
trying
Don't
to
even
say-
go into marriage that, because ordinarily, sorry, the same Nigerian, whether man or whether woman or
get out of
they
the country.
want, so they behave anywhere they are.
So now the question
You
now
can
is
behave
this:
like that there.
outside there, what stops you from behaving normally here?
We're not saying that the women
behavior
should
normal
rule
over
over you.
behavior?
See, what is happening in Nigeria today with all the laws and things? I just see that men are scared.
Yeah,
Of what?
I think it's the fear.
Unfortunately, it's the fear. Because
Okay,
if you give a woman a drop like
I
that,
see
it will
that.
down to it's fair. Let me tell you, even the non-makers
Did you see
that
the
do
man?
not vote for that,
Yes.
they are looking at 2023 and,
Yes.
and sitting, this is my seat. If we agree to this,
You see the problem.
25% of this seat, we go to women.
No,
So
you
some
see-
of them might lose their seat.
But you see the problem here. This
Yes.
is what. Did you watch the man, the man, while he was saying, I think we can give them, we can start from somewhere. We can give them about 15% for a start now. Did you watch him while he was
No,
talking
I
in the House of Representatives?
Is it Balarabe who was saying that?
I can't even remember whoever it was amongst all of the over 300 of them that were there. But this man stood up with all confidence and said, we can just give them about 15. You know the way he said it? We can give them like he's doing us a favor.
Meanwhile, more than
You
half
get
of the
it?
population in the country are women.
So I look at it.
The economy is booming because of women.
True.
Let's be factual.
Yeah, no, I have no issues
it only,
with that.
It only makes sense that in a country where the economy is being boosted mostly by women, should allow women to be part of the legislating power. I mean,
And even take decision, the decision making process.
35%, it goes both ways. We need to first of all clap for 72 members that voted right, men. That voted that, oh, this is a welcome idea.
Yeah.
So we're getting there. But we need to also disabuse the mind of the men. See, we are not chasing
Where is the
position.
where is the competition?
We are not chasing you.
For me, those bills, I'm sure that's what we're talking about that.
Yes.
From those 5 requests,
Yeah.
for me, the political one is I'm not going there, is a no-no. You know why? We have women, we have women that are senators. We have women that are in the House of Representatives.
There are 7 of 109.
Hold on.
7 of 109.
No. I know where he's going to. That's a level playing field.
How did they get there?
It's a level playing
How
field.
did they
Are
get
you kidding me right now?
Hold on, go somewhere.
I
How
know
did
where
they
he's
get
going
to that point? they were voted for. There were men in that constituency.
Yes.
Wherever they came from,
Yes.
they were men. But they were able to convince their people,
Yes.
and they got the seat.
Yes.
Fantastic.
7.
So stop
Don't forget that
mentioning
some of
numbers.
them. Don't forget that some of them have been in that
Don't
position
mention.
for a long
You know
time.
why you can't mention? You know why you
Do you know
can't
why
rely on
I
mention?
want him to finish? Because I had a discussion on this yesterday. So I want you to finish what you
Okay.
have to say.
You know, you're not going to base. For instance, you ask for 50%.
Yes.
For it, let's say we the
35%.
the laws give the 35%.
Just like that.
Now, the remaining 65% the election will come.
Yes.
You're still going to contest on that. Now, you will, because there's no law, and that is not part
and the
of that
opposite
law
of it
to
now,
say-
no, let me just say
Okay,
the
go on.
opposite of it is that giving 35% does not also give you the right as a woman to win the election. It just opens the door. Let me tell you, if you make a law
It means that political parties would accept at least 35 women.
God bless you.
Of every 100.
Yes, political parties will consider that. The
Yes.
Electoral Act will consider that also.
Yes.
So definitely you're getting the 35. Now, having gotten the 35 does also not stop you from getting more. No, because there's no law.
He's getting
that electoral
hold on, but
bill
he's getting
that
more. He's getting more a crime.
my position is, you know, when you go this
once that
route,
law is on, he's a man, don't mind him. Once that law is on, and that those 35%
So they say you're trying to 65
No,
now.
I'm
and
really
those
still going
35%
somewhere.
seats have been taken by women. No political party will joke with the remaining 65.
Yes.
What I agree with some of these laws. Number one, there are 2 laws concerning political ones. The affirmative action for governance, political parties
Yes.
and all. I think that should be voted in. Seriously. Because what it does is expose more women to what happens in our country politically. So when a party wins election, for example, and is declared, his cabinet should have at least 35% of
Women.
The political parties' positions all over the country should have 35% of women.
True.
What this does is expose us women to how politics is being done in our
Across.
country. If you don't agree to 35% legislative offices for women, I can understand where you are coming from. But if you agree to affirmative action for women, it will make women to enter the legislative office better, faster, and easily. They'll be taken more serious because they've already held positions
Across the political parties.
So that is my own part of it. I can understand you saying after they give 35% to women, they will still struggle for 65. I can categorically tell you, if that bill is signed, nobody will give women more than that 35.
I tell you.
Unfortunately, that is even not my point. Now, my point is, going that route, you are the one changing it to gender. Why? Because if everybody go to the playing ground on the parallel level, if I can convince my people to vote for me, and like you said earlier in our course of discussion, that we have more women everywhere. So if as a woman you can convince, they have seen what probably you've been involved, they've seen what you can do around, and you can convince the people, no man will stop. We're talking about democracy now. We're talking about democracy.
No, but
if you have your number, hold on. Even when the men, when they come to say no, when you have the numbers,
let me explain.
Numbers at the election or at the election or at the political party level, because the candidate has to emerge first of all.
You know the political process.
know.
You know there's a big boys club that's
True.
already in existence.
Yes.
In politics.
yes,
And for
Across
you-
the political
across-
parties.
yes. And for you to get that way in, it's tough for a woman because there's a club of men. Well, how many women are in the big boys club? In Nigeria, for example, you know, before we started this, we're already gisting about the big boys club, kind of. We all know that. And that's why this law helps. Do you think that the few women that were in those committees that thought about that bill, they didn't understand what they did to climb to that level? They knew the hurdles, and they knew that there were fewer women on top to support their cause.
Yes.
That's one. Number two, they knew that some women are brilliant, intelligent, they can make change, but they don't have the financial capability to run for office.
True.
And because of that big boys club, most men that want to invest, we rather invest in a man
Than a woman. Despite the fact that they recognize our abilities.
Do you get? So these are the things that it's in play. And then Also, on the woman part of it, when they are discussing that big boys club, do they give you a seat there, no matter how strong you are politically?
No.
They don't.
Yes.
So they leave you out of the discussion.
You are not there.
So how do you work it? Sometimes the women that get to those positions, they get it through influence of their husbands, or if truly that community
or their father has been in politics for a long time,
or has played a major role, or they are done as a favor that, okay, I can't run, give my wife, he will run. So that is the narrative we are trying to
Let me
change.
give a perfect example.
That's why I kept telling you that it's not a competition here. Women know that at that level, until we create a big girls club, we cannot get to the level.
And you see, it is difficult to create a big girls club. And that is what you're talking about, 7 out of 109, 14 out of 360.
And I'm giving you the scenario. In your environment, for example, in your community, when you look at the political structure, and you want to, let's say you want to contest in your community, and you go and say, who are the strong people in this community? They will tell you, this woman is strong, but she doesn't have a say. She can rally people around for you, but up there, she has no say. But this man, he has the connection up there.
So we use the woman to gather the support down here, but we use the man
to go up and say, appeal to the powers that be. This is my position.
I still have a very strong feeling.
But what we are doing now, what's going to lead to is a revolution.
Yes.
Then our votes, no. And that is in a situation where people's votes count. Where godfatherism in politics is reduced. That is when you really see the power of the woman. Because I'm telling you, some women in this environment, in this community, they can even win those elections, win those primaries, and the tickets are not given to them.
Yeah.
We both know that. So when you talk the way you are talking, as in you have the crowd, you have the population, we know the limitations.
Exactly.
And that is what brought us to this 35%. Because now it's forced on you. You will now start looking within your political party. Which are the women that are worthy, that are strong enough? Okay, let's give them a chance.
It now creates, you are compelled to make use of those women because they are there, physically present.
So once you now give them that chance, those women will also group other women
to take over from them.
That they see, that can have that impact, that can make that change. So we are not competing with you. We are saying that the power is in your hand. And because we understand the Nigerian politics. Listen, I told you, 35% affirmative action, I support wholeheartedly. Because what it does is give a woman a chance in the political parties, give them a chance in leadership and governance, and therefore expose them to compete for seats in the
let me give a perfect example. Hold on. Let me give a perfect example here. Let's look at Lagos. How many women in politics in Lagos at the big girls level are heard, apart from the wife of the national leader of the party, Senator Oluremi Tinubu? How many women at that level? Is she the only woman in Lagos?
Agreed.
Is she the only one that is politically activated?
No. Let me now give you the next issue.
Okay.
She is there. You have Adejoke Orelope Adefulure as a second woman there. Now, she holds this side, the west. Adejoke should be holding the Alimosho end. But as far as Alimosho is concerned, she should be the most senior in that place. She was a deputy governor, 2 terms. She is the senior special assistant to the president on SDGs. Now, she's been there for a while. But do they even reckon with the fact that she exists in that local government?
Let me tell you the problem. She cannot even overdo. You see, women have that fear too. Because when you want to go out politically, you have to be careful.
At the same time,
they will tell you, watch what you say. You know you're a woman. Mind how you talk. Don't overexpose yourself. Don't show what is wrong in your environment, because it's like you're insulting the men. So that narrative is what we're trying to change. I agree with him. We have the population. We can vote en masse for ourselves.
As a matter of fact, we can dance. They use us to do the dancing.
They beat the drums. We dance and they beat the drums. So let's give them that. We can vote for ourselves. We have that already. So let's educate our women.
You're talking.
Which we are already doing. Let's educate them. Let's support ourselves.
That's the evolution I want to see.
Evolving with
we're doing that already.
Back door.
Evolving. Let's not back door.
We're doing that already.
This is what I want to see.
Involving women in politics, my organization. That's what we're canvassing for.
You have the young people like me. You have
yes. We're saying
when a woman, it's already happening.
You have my 100% support. You have my 100% support.
I want the president today.
You have my 100%. Once your profile, I am convinced that you can deliver. Why not?
Do you know how many women have fantastic profiles?
I admire fantastic profiles. So
you have a fantastic profile.
We have fantastic profiles. Even the men that you put them there, and I mean, you ask.
But listen. There are very few women that have been put up there in this country.
Yes.
They've done fantastically well.
Very true.
I'm not saying 100%. Yes. At least 98%
of the women given the opportunity
that this government or whatever government over time has given the opportunity to take certain positions.
Yes.
I can never forget Madam Chief Kema Chikwe.
Yes.
When she was Minister of Aviation. That was the first time I entered Murtala International Airport, and the toilet was okay for me to use, and there was AC everywhere. I was not sweating. And in my mind I said, how could she get this done? And several people could not get it done. And
immediately she left.
Get it done.
And also thankfully to late Dora Coyne.
Yes, and
number of them.
So NAFDAC. So you see, when women are given those opportunities, we do fantastically well. So what is your fear?
I have no fear.
What is the men's fear? So if we're asking for 35% affirmative action, for example, I completely want to push that 35% because I know the limitations women have to run for positions.
Yes.
We cannot do what the men can do, and because there's a big boys club already.
Yes.
If you are not accepted in that club, there's no, you can't move around.
Except you have somebody in
that we live in America. Yes. Where democratically, I can wake up from nowhere, have this community service I've done, recognized by my people, and then I will even be forced to say, come around.
Okay, please let me take this one like that. Alhaji Lawal Junaid from Kaduna said, good morning, my contribution to the topic is there is nothing like gender equality but for equity. It is about the mindset of both partners in the marriage institution where a woman feels psychologically downtrodden by the man. She's likely to be riotous and uncompromising. The agitation going on at the top level struggling to secure equal elective positions for women is nothing but self-destruction. Women are supposed to be homemakers and builders.
I like it.
Women are supposed to be homemakers and builders. It is the age-long negligence of women in this traditional role that has accounted for the moral decadence and many juvenile delinquencies and high level of criminalities in our nation. As a very notable caution, women who have not finished building their homes and families should have no place or thoughts of coming to politics.
I agree. There are 2 or 3 things he said that I agree with. Number 1, he said we are natural home builders. So why can't we be natural nation builders?
He said we don't have business.
No. So if we can believe that we can build a home, then we can build a nation.
No. You may be good at this, you may not be good at that. I do not think that doesn't translate to building a nation.
We are talking about South. How they want to support you. Literally. Yes. He said we are home builders.
Yes.
Naturally, if you can build a home, you can build a community. You can build a community. You can build a local government. If you can build a local government, you can build a state.
Your ability may just be to build a home.
That is build. The operative word is build. See, the operative word here is build. When you say those are the women that build homes, all of them can build a nation. Of course, what we are saying is that
35
we have the intrinsic
100
value of being builders. It's not like construction. If you can construct this table, with time you'll be able to construct a house.
True.
Because it's the same hard work and diligence you put here that but not everybody has the capability to go ahead of constructing.
Which you said earlier by saying some women are even very comfortable.
That was one point.
No builders.
The other point is said about women, that is the decadence of women over time.
No, decadence in the society is as a result of women wanting elective positions
or not wanting to move forward or wanting. Let me tell you, the decadence in society are caused by the men.
It said
Because most
women neglecting the traditional role has accounted for the moral decadence
Yes.
in society and
What is
juvenile
making women
delinquency.
to leave the role, their traditional role? They marry men that are not responsible enough to maintain those.
That shouldn't stop them.
No. We're talking generally. If you marry a man, for example, now, and you want to build a family of 3 or 4, along the line, maybe he lost his job or he's not responsible enough to invest whatever comes in for him, and then you are forced to start a job or start a business that takes you away most times from the home. So what happens? And then the man is at home. Instead of him to take the mantle of, okay, right now I'm not working, right now I'm not the one bringing in the money, it's my wife, let's reverse the role till I can get something doing. The men don't do
doesn't.
that. So no, this is
status quo.
Okay.
So
It sticks to
some of
status
these
quo.
things, it's not written in ink that is what causes decadence. I'm saying situations sometimes.
I agree. I
So,
agree with
if
you.
you want
Instead
to-
of situations sometimes, but what is said is the generally
That's the mindset of every man. It is not what it is.
But you see, because of this involvement, things are evolving. Because of the new things we want to see. Because of, oh no, it can't be like that again. That is what is
The yellow who were in the traditional council in those days as well were not contributing their quota.
Reason why we are saying you can do it.
So listen,
Without asking for my permission to do it.
let me explain.
To give it
If
out.
you're the husband, I need your permission to do it.
Let's come to Yoruba land.
Okay.
I acted Moremi when I was in primary school.
Right.
We went to NTA. It was a big theater for me, young. I was 9, 10. When Moremi wanted to help Ife, didn't he have the backing of the king? Did he have the backing of the king? Did she have the backing of the king?
Yes.
I remember there was a war where these Igbo people came and trashed everything they had, and she ran to the palace and told the king that this cannot continue. Give me permission. I want to go into their kingdom and see how we can defeat the people. If the king at that time refused her, we won't have this history of Moremi today. Ife might not have been able to defeat those people. So you see where the permission thing comes in. That's why I'm saying it's not a competition. But you so when you say we don't need permission, we understand the rules and the way the men think. Listen. I get where you are coming from. That it should be a level playing ground. Nigeria is not a level playing ground.
It is not.
We are not like other clients.
No, but let me
I'm looking for
Is it a level playing ground in our
Even other times you're talking about, sorry, it didn't start one day.
and you have started the journey.
Yes, good.
But is it a level playing ground?
I'm in total support of this revolution. Now, this revolution is not by asking for 35% on the
That's very problem.
Act. I saying 35%. The revolution I'm talking about is what some of it is just
Nigeria has signed the affirmative action for quite a number of years, even at the level of elected positions. Do we have it?
See, I have.
Do we have
I have different groups,
Do we practicalize it?
alumni and all that, and we do stuff. And to be fair, the chairman that have been managing whatever has been a woman. We have more men in that same constituency.
Women are better managers.
So that is why, because she has proven herself to be. No one will say no. All I need to see from you, show me. Show me, and you have it. Now we're 100% support.
What was the process of picking chairman in your group?
Sorry?
Was there a process where you needed somebody to prove themselves before they were picked as chairman? Or she just decided there's a lot of chaos, let me stand up and be chairman?
No, she didn't just say,
So what
okay,
happened?
well, there was a process. And the process, we were looking at people, we nominations, and we had to send things out to hear from
But
people.
do you believe that in
feel.
this Nigerian politics now,
Yes.
even if my community picks me out and says, this is a woman, we want her, there are powers that be that will say no.
Agree. But now,
Okay.
it's now left to you and your group to prove that you can. Yes. Do you know that you underestimate, because you underestimate your own power, and you think seriously, and you think that some people will still say no.
I to mention names or mention scenarios.
We have to function within the system.
I've seen or heard, I read about a lot of women in this political dispensation that have done that and been there, and even get the votes, but they were not announced.
They were asked to step down.
Yes.
And if they
did that to men.
Listen.
Men also do know that. They did that to men.
Mr. Lawyer, Mr. Barrister, just listen. I need to get this straight to you. Okay. They will do that to men because plenty men are vying. But in a situation where listen. When you see a woman that can move a community that is doing very well, and out of 100,000 women in that community,
you have
only this one woman, and the community approves of her, why tell her to step down?
When you have like
to step down for demand that is not even accepted in this community.
Acceptable.
And it's not even known in that community.
No, you can still meet this man. Put up your argument. When I have a superior argument, tomorrow,
if you are given an opportunity to make that superior argument,
yes.
Do they listen?
If
they will promise you next time.
I can tell you, if women are given those opportunities can be disguised in this 35% we're talking about.
Yeah,
that is what I want you to be thinking. I don't want you to be thinking like, why do they want to beg for the position? Because we've seen it happen. Where women in communities are doing perfectly well, they are improving their communities with their own personal funds and doing so many fantastic things. And then when they vie for those positions, they are stepped down for people that have not contributed. And when they now say, okay, I'm going to change parties, they are maligned. Completely. And they say even when they are voted for, their votes will not count. Through some mechanization or the other. So let me tell you, if we're asking for the 5% affirmative,
you see why we submit to the system?
What it does is gives you an opening. I might not be in full support of that 5% legislative positions because I believe we should play on a fair level ground. But I believe in that 35% affirmative action because I know what it does is educate us more, expose us more to the political mechanization and prepare us more for those legislative.
Like on the political part, I would still say I would still say no, and I'm not shifting my ground. But on the other bills. For instance, the citizens of the husband becoming that one is for me.
How can
is
the
yes.
husband of a Nigerian woman, a foreign husband of a Nigerian woman, not get automatically?
If the same way a man that is a Nigerian and his wife becomes
an outsider.
So for me, is a yes. I want that. There's no reason why we should stop.
Doesn't that particular no that we got, doesn't it now tell you the mindset of the kind of man that we have there?
That's why I'm saying that. Look, we're just starting. This is just the beginning. You're not going to go and sleep over this.
No, listen.
You're still going to come back, and thank God. I mean, I understand that you're having a 1 million match, or how many million match today?
Stop laughing at us.
Sorry.
See, let me
You're making fun of us, right?
In my organization, it's like advocacy. And we also understand that the journey is a long one. You understand? This attempt in the National Assembly just gives us a clearer view how you men see us.
Think and see us.
How you see us. To the extent where I marry a foreigner and he won't get citizenship of my place, it just goes down that low. So if you as legislators can think that low, which even 10% affirmative action, they will say no. So it's already letting us know
what you think about
us. So that thing you are saying we should start, it is on the way now.
Thank you. If you remember that we went to court. If you remember, we went to court when there are some tribes that were saying that their women are not entitled to wields and all that, like that. We went to court to say no, but it changed. The story has changed. Those women are entitled to. So we don't believe in all these things.
We are going to pray that the story change, and on days like International Women's Day, we should all have the discussion. I will appeal to women in their homes, in their communities, to keep doing what they are doing. We're not saying don't support the men. We're saying create a space for yourself too, so that you can be heard and your rights can be read. Because in the constituency today, in our constitution today, you know a woman can't even bail a man from the police station.
No, it has changed.
Has it changed?
It has
okay,
changed.
because I still read the old constitutional laws.
It has changed.
So what I'm trying to say is that, yes, you might think we're making noise. It was a good attempt. And we're still praying that some of those percentages are reversed. Okay, give those opportunities. Some women are just waiting for opportunity. We don't have the financial make down to
actually run for office. What is it?
Thank you.
It doesn't matter. It's a lie. That's a scam. I want to say a big thank you. I want to say a big thank you to Chief Mrs. Raliat and Anako Abdulsalam. Thank you for joining me on the Bumper Breakfast. We'll still continue our discussion about